Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are back again, and we are back with another Manchester United video and another video where we are discussing Paul Pogba. Now obviously we've heard the recent rumours that Paul Pogba may be considering extending his stay at Manchester United, and that comes after a whole period of time where Manchester United fans and seemingly the club have had it in their minds set that Paul Pogba was going to leave in the summer. But besides that, and besides those reports, and besides those rumours, there is the fact that Paul Pogba has returned to training and is closer to return in the team at Manchester United. Now, some fans would have you believe that Manchester United are now better off without Paul Pogba. A combination of things, obviously the player's agent, the player last summer saying he possibly saw a different challenge ahead, and various other reasons come into that. But it's clear Paul Pogba is an outstanding talent. He's Manchester United's best player, and before Bruno Fernandes arrived, without Paul Pogba it was quite clear that Manchester United missed Paul Pogba. Now I don't buy out of that notion that United are now better off without him. It's of course a benefit that we've got Bruno Fernandes in there, and if we do have a future without Paul Pogba ahead, which I still think is likely, then we don't have to worry about that creative side of things. But having both of them could be absolutely crazy, and that could be what is ahead for Manchester United fans in the next couple of months if the coronavirus outbreak doesn't halt all games altogether. So in this video we're going to look at just that. How will Manchester United line up with Paul Pogba in the team alongside Bruno Fernandes? Now I've got a number of formations which we're going to look at. We'll be talking about the advantages, the disadvantages. This is nothing that you don't already know, but we're just going to open up the debate. Which one do you think is better? Now obviously you have to be tactically flexible as any great football team. If you want to be the best, you have to be flexible tactically. And Oli has shown that recently, playing a 3-4-1-2 and a 4-2-3-1 at various different occasions and against various different opponents. But with Pogba returning, how will United play? Now obviously in this I've put players into the formations and stuff as a rough guideline, but you can always chop and change those other players. The main ones in this are the attacking players and the Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, etc. So focus on those things. Don't start caning me saying Fred or Matic or whatever, because we'll discuss the alternatives in there as well and the options as well. Firstly, we'll look at the formations which United have used more recently, and the first one that we'll take a look at is the 4-2-3-1. Now you look at that and you're thinking, where would Paul Pogba play? Where would Bruno play? Now a lot of people are comparing Pogba and Bruno like they're the same talents, and for me Pogba is a supreme midfielder. Bruno is a fantastic attacker. Now he plays in the midfield area and he can drop deep, we know that. But you almost need to allow someone like Bruno the freedom to just roam. So I don't compare those two in terms of what position they play in. And I actually think Paul Pogba holds down more of a number 8 position alongside a Fred or a Matic. Now if you look at this, we've obviously got the back 4. In behind Fred and Pogba, James, Bruno, Rashford and Anthony Martial. Obviously this is in a best case scenario if we had Rashford and Martial fit. And obviously you're looking at that and you're thinking, okay, Fred playing in there, he's now got more of a responsibility on him defending. So you'd probably see someone like McTominay or Matic coming in there, because we know Pogba is going to be roaming and allowing and getting involved in those attacks and then dropping a little bit deeper as well. So I think that could be one of the options that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does look to. Obviously without Rashford you'll see someone else out there. Of course you can play Mata and play James on the left. That's an option that Manchester United have. But the 4-2-3-1 is a possibility, and that's how I think we'd line up with that. The only thing is I think you're obviously defensively a little bit weaker in that if you don't play a Matic or a McTominay who's just going to sit and protect the back 4 or protect those centre halves, because Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, you'd expect them to push forward. You'd expect them to push forward quite a lot. Now you've always got the possibility of, because Wan-Bissaka is able to push forward in that right position, Maguire and Bailly could shift across, Shaw could shift across, And in transition, you've then got like a back three. And Rashford's holding down that left-hand side. James would then drift probably into those central areas. So obviously these tactics and these formations are flexible. But that is one of the options that you'd go with in a 4-2-3-1. And I'll probably be more tempted to use Matic or McTominay instead of Fred there. Although Fred is on the graphic, I'd be tempted to use Matic or McTominay more. Because they are more defensively sound in my opinion. But if you do use Matic or McTominay, let's say we use McTominay there alongside Pogba, you've then got quite a lot of depth. You've got Matic who can come in for McTominay in the defensive role. You've got Fred who could come in the number 8 role in place of Pogba. And if Mata or Lingard doesn't start, then you've got Mata or Lingard that can come in for Bruno. Now, I know Mata and Lingard and Pereira haven't been in great form, but once they become your squad options, you're looking a lot stronger there. And the midfield, where we've had huge issues over the last number of months because of injuries and the lack of talent, would ultimately become then a midfield where we've got a whole host of options, and we've almost got 2 players in each position. Then we take a look at the 3-4-1-2, which again has been a go-to formation for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season. It obviously allows us to have the fullbacks, wingbacks pushing forward, Wan-Bissaka and Williams, and Luke Shaw coming in as one of those centre halves where he's actually thrived from, because then he gives you that option to push forward as well. You almost end up having 2 left backs at times, or having two players on the left hand side, which you miss out on because you're ultimately playing 2 up top. So it still gives you that width, it still gives you that protection in that you've got a number of midfielders. And recently we've been seeing Matic and Fred been playing in there. Now you'd probably see Pogba and Fred, or Pogba and Matic, or Pogba and McTominay in there. But I do think you'd then be able to play Fred in there because of the fact you've got an extra centre half, because of the fact you've got that extra defensive stability. And with Pogba coming in, and you know Paul Pogba is able to push forward on that left-hand side of the pitch, you could then possibly go to Maguire, Bailly and Lindelof. Play your best 3 centre halves in the back 3. Because you know Paul Pogba is going to occupy some of that space on that left-hand flank as well. So it enables you to bring in an extra centre-half in Lindelof or Bailly, and take Shaw out, or put Shaw at left-back, and go a little bit stronger in terms of the defensive. What would excite me about that too is you'd have, let's say Matic or McTominay started in place of Fred. You'd have Pogba then pushing forward to join in with that Bruno, Martial and probably Igalo for the remainder of this season. And you just got players coming from all sorts of positions. One of my favourite Man United sides is the 08 side. And when you think of that team, you think of the interchange of players all happy to move in and out of, obviously we had Tevez and Rooney and Ronaldo and all these great talents. But once you've got players that are happy to interchange, happy to move about, happy to be flexible, your formations become flexible. It just becomes a whole host easier for the team. And then you've even got, like, if Williams pushes forward and he gets caught forward, Luke Shaw can tuck across, Wan-Bissaka can drop back. You've got a back 4, and you've almost got, if Martial or Rashford pulls out to the right, you've got a front 3 then with Bruno behind him. It gives you so much tactical flexibility. But the 3-4-1-2 again is probably the one you go to, I think, if you do bring Pogba back in, with Matic or McTominay in place of Fred. And again, as I said, you've got Fred to come in for Pogba, Matic or McTominay to come in for each other in that more defensive position. And you've got alternatives for Bruno on the bench as well. Another possibility and another formation, and this one, I don't know, I like the look of this as well. You've got the back 4, David De Gea in goal. You've got your back 4, whatever that is. I've put Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire, Shaw there. And then you've got almost a midfield 3 of McTominay, Fred, Pogba. So you've got that defensive support in McTominay or Matic there. You've got your Fred and your Pogba. If you played Matic, you could play Fred or McTominay there. You've got Pogba. You've got Bruno at the focal point of that diamond, with Martial and Igalo or Martial and Rashford in those front 2 positions. Now, when you're Wan-Bissaka's and your Shaw push forward, you've then got Matic and McTominay who can just drop in between or in front of the two centre halves and protect them. And then you've still got that width. You almost become a 3-4-1-2 a little bit. So, you know, the 4-4-2 diamond and the 3-4-1-2 are very interchangeable in that, yes, you wouldn't have, you know, a Luke Shaw or a Lindelof or a Bailly extra in that defence, but you would have your McTominay or Matic. I'll hold here, boys, while Wan-Bissaka and Shaw are gone. You know what I mean? Or if Shaw doesn't go, they just shuffle across again. Wan-Bissaka goes. McTominay can pull out to the left-hand side and dominate that area of the pitch. We saw him come on against Manchester City on the right-hand side of the midfield, which was another interesting one. Obviously, it was late into the game, and at that point, you make different tactical decisions than you normally would do. But that's where he got that goal from, his high press there. And if you're playing against teams like that are coming out with the ball and are playing out from the back, someone like McTominay in that area of the field would be good to have. So again, flexibility. This is the joy of having your players fit. Ollie's been hamstrung this season in that he hasn't had all of his players fit. So if we can get all of our players fit, we're going somewhere. It does bring those what ifs. We had Bruno from the start of the season and Pogba was fully fit and Rashford didn't get injured and Martial didn't have 2 months out. You have all of those what ifs, but ultimately we should have these players touching wood. An ambulance going past when I'm talking about injuries doesn't bode well, does it? But nevertheless, touch wood that we don't get any more injuries once we do get these players back in, any more serious injuries anyway. Injuries are obviously part of the game, but we've had bad luck this season. Now, this is something that we've rarely seen this season so far, and it was something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer started so well with at Manchester United when he came in and Ole was at the wheel and all that, and it was a 4-3-3. Now, in that instance, we had Matic, Herrera, Pogba in the midfield, and in this instance, you obviously wouldn't have Herrera, but again, it's a great shape to have. Now, without Rashford in the team, who plays out on that wider position is obviously a question mark. Again, you can put James out there and put Mata on the right hand side. That's fine. Or even if you wanted to, you could put Bruno in one of those positions, but you don't want to get him stuck out there and it'd be just much like Mata in terms of he'd be drifting all over the place, and maybe at home you could get away with it, but probably not away from home. But the 4-3-3, if you brought in, let's say, McTominay, Bruno, Pogba, Fred, Bruno, Pogba, you've got that solid foundation there. You've got the two in Bruno and Pogba, which is absolutely ridiculous. You've just got to make sure that focal point of the midfield that's sitting there is doing his job. He's doing his job. Because if he's not, it all falls apart and it looks shaky and your defence is exposed. You have to have a little bit of nous in there, and that's why, regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba in the summer, I know Matic is probably going to sign a contract. You got McTominay. I'd probably look at investing in there now. I'm a little bit worried in that. I don't think we will. We'll focus on the wider areas. We'll focus on, you know, other positions. But just getting a little bit of defensive solidity in there would be great. We're probably going to go with McTominay, Matic, and start bringing in the likes of James Garner, Dylan Levitt, and seeing what we can do with them and what positions they will fit into in the team before we do invest. But, you know, if we had that, so, you know, imagine having a Kante there and then you got Bruno and Pogba. It's the best midfield in the world. That's not to be a slight on Fred or McTominay or Matic, but, you know, they've got to be on it in games if we do play this 4-3-3. And I think Matic has been, Fred has been, and McTominay have been recently. That also puts Pogba in his best position, Bruno in his best position. It would put Fred, Matic, McTominay in their best position, Rashford, Anthony Martial in their best positions. And look at this team, yeah, this 4-3-3, which I think is what Ollie's preferred formation is, although he's shown he's flexible. If you look at this 4-3-3 and you got McTominay or Matic there, you got Pogba or Fred in one of those positions, you got Bruno or Mata there, you got Jadon Sancho in that position where Daniel James is, Martial, Rashford. That is some team, and you're building a team then that is able to challenge for the league and challenge for trophies. You still need depth, you still need a lot more in the squad, because we're still thin and 1 or 2 injuries absolutely fucks us. But if we did keep Pogba, and I know this video has been about from now to the end of the season, but if we did keep Pogba, it's keeping a little bit of star quality in the team. It's giving you a better foundation to build from, because I think Oli is building a great foundation, and it just makes the summer a little bit easier. And I got a bad feeling that we're going to see these amazing formations and setups with Pogba in them from now to the end of the season, and they'll probably leave and we'll just be like, damn it, what should have been. But hopefully the rumours are true and he's ready to stay, and we get to see these kind of things next season as well, only with an addition of the likes of maybe Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish and co. Anyway guys, let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Which would be your preferred formation and lineup as well? Remember, I know Fred's been in most of these and Matic and McTominay haven't been, but it was just for the ease of the edit. So yeah, interchange those in your mind. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure you subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. If you want to see more videos like this, then let us know as well, and keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV, because like I keep saying, there's so much more coming your way. See you later.